Greetings to you wherever you are watching me from. A very happy 2022 to you and your families. I trust you all had a fantastic Christmas and New Year celebrations and you stayed safe and are still staying safe. Again, I thank you for joining me on this journey again in 2022. May the year be blessed for you and yours on all sides. In Jesus' name. So, I thought I'll share a recording of how I cover my square cakes, this time using the drape over method. My cake is actually a large square cake. It is 10 inches square and at least, I think it's about 6.5 or just to be safe, 6 inches tall. So it is quite a large cake. So as you can see, I've already baked my cake, tortured them into layers, filled them with buttercream, and ganache them. At this point in time, I am about to cover with fondant. I have rolled out a large piece of fondant into a circular format, and at this point, I am applying some water onto the ganache cake using a clean paper kitchen towel. This is to act as an adhesive for the fondant to sit and glue on. I have now proceeded to draping over my rolled out large piece of fondant over my ganached cake and then using my cake smoother to smooth out the fondant on the cake at the top and on the full size. At this point in time, I am concentrating on the size of the cakes. You could see earlier that when I draped over the fondant over the cake, I initially frosting secured the four corners using my hand before going in with my fondant smoothers. So what I'm basically doing now is using my fondant smoother to smooth out the cakes on the full size and the top of the cake, ensuring that the excess fondant is moved or gently moved to the corners. I'm not concentrating on the corners at this stage. I'm basically concentrating on the four sides and of course the top. I'm using two fondant smoothers, and now at this stage, as you can see, I've now proceeded to using my two cake smoothers in the corners, bringing them together to rub against each other to create a fiction. As you can see, that I'm trying to then in effect cutting off the excess fondant from the corners, as you could see. And as you can see in the video, that's what I'm doing on all four corners. I'm doing the second bit now. And as I'm doing that, you can see I'm continuing with my smoothing. If there's any imperfection, I try to get rid of it. Any air bubbles, I use my bubble pin. Not bubble pin, my sewing pin to get rid of it. So at this stage now, as you can see, I have using my two cake smoothers to get rid of the very large excess fondant on the corners of the cake. And now my concentration now is now to get those four corners on the sides and also at the top of the cake as sharp as possible. As you can see, I have now proceeded to now going in with my tall cake smoother. This cake smoother, I got it from Cakes by Carol. I believe this was just about the second time I'm using it. So I'm not really an expert at using it yet, but at least it was effective for this purpose because my cake was a bit tall, and as you could see, the first two smoothers were shorter, way shorter than my cake. So but with this tall acrylic smoother, it stands tall against my cake, so it made the smoothing on the sides easier. So, and then as you can see, I'm also utilizing my paring knife. I'm using this to cut off all excess fondant. So what I'm basically doing is that I am using my smoothers to pull or gently pull any excess fondants from the sides of my cake to the corners, creating a fiction and then going in with my paring knife to cut off those excess fondant. I'm now again also using my pizza cutter to cut off the excess fondant also from the bottom of the or the base of the cake. So that's just simply the process I'm going through at this stage, ensuring that my cake sides and corners are as sharp as I can get it. This covering a square cake is actually a very daunting task. It is a no task for the faint-hearted. How do I put it? It is no task at all for the faint-hearted. So you need to actually have time and patience to get to your desired level of perfection that you're aiming at. So you cannot rush to do this. You cannot, and you need to have the right tools actually. So your fondant smoothers, your paring knife, it's very important for this purpose, and I cannot stress that enough. It is very important for this purpose. And as you can see, my edges and corners are getting sharper as I go around the corners over and over again. So they are getting sharper and sharper and sharper. And so, basically, you need time, you need patience, and you need the right tools. That is your fondant smoother, the paring knife, and sometimes your pizza cutter. You can use a knife if you don't have a pizza cutter to cut off excess fondant, using your cake smoother to gently pull the fondant to the corners and cut off the excess, and also you're preparing them to do the same. And at this stage, I'm just simply smoothing out the my finished task, just making sure there are no more there's no any missed out imperfection, and then getting rid of any visible air bubbles I can see. That's just basically what I'm doing, and that's my finished covered cake, square cake, using the drape over method. So, thank you for watching. Please do leave me a thumbs up if you like what you've seen. And I would also appreciate your comments, your views, your thoughts. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Thank you so much, and do have a blessed week ahead. Take care for now, and see you in my next video.